Hey, Fanboy Nation.
This is your pal Daffy Duck, and you're watching.
You're watching.
We're watching. You're watching Fanboy.
Fanboy. Fanboy.
Fanboy.
Fanboy.
A fanboy, etc.
Fanboy Nation.
Dot, I assume Tom.
Normally, live theater do a season that kind of fits along with the school year, running from the end of August into mid to late May. But we get to talk to the men from No Square Theater, which is bringing forth a summer spectacular in the 1961 Tony Award-winning musical Bye Bye Birdie, running from July 18th through August 3rd. Today, I have with me Rob Harryman and Joe Lauderdale. Gentlemen, it is great to chat with you.
Great to be here.
Great to be here.
Yeah. Joe, I met you when you were doing a play at the Wayward. And Rob, I think the first time we chatted was when you guys did Dracula at No Square. So, I'm excited to talk to everybody again.
Yes, I remember. I remember meeting you at my show at Wayward.
So, take us through the theater right now. July 18th, couple of weeks away. We have Bye Bye Birdie, a classic. A loose storytelling of Elvis's draft time. They couldn't get the rights to Elvis's real life, so they kind of fictionalized it. What was the desire to put Bye Bye Birdie on stage? What is it now? 60 years later? 70 years later?
It actually, our previous artistic director had selected the show for this season. And I think it's just a good classic old style book musical, and it's for better or for worse, it's also kind of timely. Charles Strauss just passed away, but the score's by him. It's a great score. Can't get those songs out of my head.
Yeah, the wonderful thing about Bye Bye Birdie is that it has a multi-generational cast. Especially because there are a lot of teenagers in the cast, the characters and the cast, but it also has the young adults playing those teenagers as well. So at No Square, we like to do things like that will bring lots of ages together to see how everyone works.
Well, my only point of reference is I did get to see the movie with Anne Margaret, so I have kind of an expectation of what's to come. But, when you translate from stage to film and vice versa, it's not going to be a one-for-one. So I'm looking forward to what you guys are putting on.
No, definitely the movie added some things that are not in the show, nor is that song that Anne Margaret sings, Bye Bye Birdie. They actually added that after the film was completed, and she did that number while walking on a treadmill.
That's incredible. Yeah. So, gentlemen, let's go into a little bit of the history of No Square. You guys are at the American Legion in in Laguna Beach. There's a lot of L beaches in California. How did the theater company come about, and how did you guys partner up with the American Legion?
Well, actually, the theater was founded in 1977, not long after the Laguna Playhouse switched from community theater to professional theater. And Bree Burgess Rosen, the founder, decided that we needed another community theater in town. And that's sort of the genesis for creating No Square. And it was named No Square basically because you can't be square if you're going to be around No Square. And that's where the name came from.
And if I could just make a correction, I think I heard 1977, but it was 1997.
Oh, did I say 1977?
Yeah.
Sorry,
no worries.
I meant 1990.
Just wanted people to... So if anybody's fact checking us,
that's good. That's important.
So we are fast approaching the 30th anniversary then.
Yes, we are in 2027.
Yeah, it's great to see how No Square survived, especially the last 5 years where, during the pandemic, so many things have shut down, restaurants haven't come back, other playhouses haven't come back. To see that you guys are still here is something that is a testament to the community's support. When coming out of something like that and still being able to survive and thrive and put on shows, what does that mean to you as being part of the production house and being able to still give to the community where so many other people have had to shut down?
Well, we've always had a really strong donor base, and they've helped us through. And we also got some during the pandemic, some federal assistance, which was critical to keeping us alive.
And I directed the first show after the pandemic, and it was Into the Woods, and our houses were full. People were wearing masks, but houses were full, and that support was amazing. And Rob was in that show.
It's great that you guys are performers and also, in the back of the house, being able to have a foot in both worlds.
Absolutely. I think it gives us, in running the theater, another perspective. And
yeah, definitely.
And a chance to interact with other actors, both on stage and off.
Right. Now, I haven't acted in quite some time, but I still have that sort of actor sensibility.
Just to tie in between film and theater, since I tend to cover both, have you guys seen the movie Everything's Gonna Be Great?
No.
No.
So it's a movie by John S. Baird and Stephen Rogers, where it's a family that runs community theater and how they go from town to town to put on various shows and try to get funding. So I don't know if that'd be a film that you guys would be interested in checking out.
Absolutely.
What was the name again?
Everything's Going to Be Great.
Everything's Going to Be Great.
I'm just gonna
look at Rob. I think we're both writing it down.
Yeah, Allison Hannigan's in it, and oh my God, why can't I remember his name? Breaking Bad, the lead actor.
Oh,
Bryan Cranston.
Bryan
Cranston.
Yeah. So they're the stars of the film, and it's quite interesting to see how they go about trying to get funding and keeping theater alive, especially in the Northeast and in tiny communities that are very far off Broadway.
No, that's cool. That's a great recommendation. Thank you.
When you guys decide, so are we set for 2025, 2026 for the season?
We are, yes.
We are.
Perfect. So coming out of Bye Bye Birdie, what would be the first show? I want to make sure. I know we have All That Sass, which is a 2-day run, but that's more of kind of a cabaret show, I presume.
Yeah, it's kind of a concert of, in our sort of what may become a series of Pride concerts. So that does come in August. Okay. And then the first show of the season, which is typically the way it goes, is Lagunatics, our annual roast of living in Laguna Beach with satire and parody and wild costumes.
Well, Laguna Beach is its own little world within Orange County. It's interesting as to, how do I put this? It's the Vermont of California. It's very liberal yet conservative at the same time.
Yeah.
Yes. I think that's absolutely true.
Yeah. I think it's the best way to describe it. Like Vermont has its lunatics, but want all their first through 10 Amendment rights, but still want to be liberal in their own regard. So Laguna kind of has that same feeling.
Yeah. And the great thing about Lagunatics is it started in 1992.
So
at the Laguna Playhouse as a fundraiser, which I directed then. And it's just continued on with loving support from the community.
So then that begs the question, in 35 years, how has the play been updated to go along with the times and the decades change?
Oh, it's new material every year. And this town is strange enough, and the politics are funny enough that it lends itself for a lot of material every year. Last year, one of my favorites was that Laguna Beach woman who lived on the beach and tried to rope it off, keep people off her part of the beach. And news crews from LA came and covered it. And if we just have enough quirky things going on here, that there's never a shortage of material.
Yeah. Tried to turn it into her own little private beach. Gotta love it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. Now, is there also going to be a sensory show, sign language interpreter, or any of those types of shows along with this run of Bye Bye Birdie?
Yeah. On August 2nd, we've got a 1 hour sensory sensitive adapted performance, basically highlights from the show. But it's geared to audiences with neurodiverse disorders.
Wow, that's fantastic. Yeah.
Yeah, and
It seems to be a new
they're
trend
some of my
that's coming
favorite
about.
crowds.
Yeah.
It's a little looser. I remember we did Matilda a couple of years ago. And my character in the show, just I don't know how to describe him, but a scoundrel, really. And the audience was heckling me, and I loved it. They're very free audiences.
Well, that's a lot of fun. I have to come to one of the sensory shows just to check them out because I haven't been yet. I've been to shows with sign language interpreters, but never one like this. So I got to make time for it.
Yeah. And this year and going forward, we're donating all ticket proceeds to Glenwood House here in Laguna Beach.
And that foundation is?
That foundation has residences for people with autism and other spectrum
Wonderful
issues.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Joe, you transitioning from actor to now director, do you ever get the bug or the itch to hop back on stage?
I do. Unfortunately, I can't remember lines or lyrics anymore, or dance steps.
It does happen.
But yes, that bug is still there.
Yeah. So we'll get Joe in an improv show at some point.
I'm terrible at improv.
I'm
which
trying
is
to work
really
something
pathetic.
I'm trying to work something out for you, man.
Okay, dude, that'd be great.
So as things progress from 1997, here we are, 2025, 28 years later, to see where it's come from. And has it always been in the same location at the American Legion? Or is this like a more recent home?
We've been here since I think 2009.
Right.
Yeah. And before that, well, I wasn't involved with No Square before that. To my knowledge, most of the performances were at maybe the Forum Theater, Joe?
No, actually, they were at the high school.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So that's great to find a home, especially at the Legion as well. How did that association come about? Because you don't necessarily think American Legion live theater. Sometimes you think more like, the Armory with boxing or wrestling or something of that sort.
Yeah, absolutely. We this space we're in used to be the community center in Laguna Beach, and then when the Suzy Q community center was built, this became available, and we just rented it from American Legion.
And it's a fantastic space. I also love the theater. Rob is in the theater right now. You have a U-shaped theater, so it's great for the performers that it's not just in film or television it'd be a hard cam. They get to actually interact with the audience and look in all directions to make sure that the performance is even more interactive.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Same
it's
heckling dog.
I actually put it into that shape early in the early years of being in that space, and everyone thought I was crazy. But it's turned out to be quite fun.
It really was. The first show I ever saw at No Score was Dracula, and that show in its how do I put this? In its insanity because it's all over the place, but it's a great show and it's a lot of fun. And I didn't want to use insanity because that could have a negative contact, but it's just a brilliant show that's all over the place. It worked fantastic, and I know Brian over from Maverick, I think, helped with the design of this or of the set.
No,
It
actually, the
was
set was designed by Kylie Baumbush
thank
and
you
Teddy
so
Pagey.
thank you so much with
Oh,
that.
I know what you're talking about. Yes, Brian built it.
Yes, thank you. Built the sets. Um, what's it like when you guys, because there's so many, theater companies in Orange County, which is something that I had recently learned. How great is it that you guys could interact and work with each other, and it's not this essential like gatekeeping, like this is our area. Why are you involved? How dare you open up shop, 8 miles away or whatever it is. Like, it seems that the theater community in Orange County is very interactive and willing to work with one another.
Rob, I think maybe you could talk about that a little bit about Orange County Theater Guild.
Yeah. Orange County Theater Guild, which we're a member of, um, does, I think, a lot of good work in bringing theaters together. I'm also one of the adjudicators with Orange County Theater Guild, and that gets me out to seeing a lot of theater all over the county. And we also, um, with a couple of the theaters that are nearby, one down in San Juan Capistrano and one in San Clemente, there's a lot of um, talent being used, cross-pollinating basically, and we loan props and costumes to other theaters, and they do as well. So I think it's a very supportive atmosphere across the county, and I've even heard that Orange County has more community theater than almost any county. Uh,
I've heard that too.
according to Susan Egan, anyway. So I
So
figure,
Susan is our source on this one.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
But that's great for all of that, because we get to see, and especially for you guys, you get to go to Cabrillo and go, oh, we'll throw out, I just so like, oh, Stacy over here was great in this role. We should have her audition for, this part in the show that's coming out in November versus, Mike, who was great in this role, but we have a show in May that maybe we should try to get him to audition for that. So it kind of makes it your talent scouting a little easier for you.
Yeah, absolutely, it does.
Yeah.
And also OCTG has a yearly audition where everyone comes who wants to. I think this year there were 130 something. And indeed, one of my cast members from Dracula came from that audition.
That's fantastic. So it's good that the community is tight knit and being able to pull this off together.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
With AI taking over, there's the fear of AI actors for film and television. There's the fear of AI writing scripts and, taking those jobs away. Yet with live theater, it's something that will never be able to replace the humanity in the performance. So it essentially feels like what's old is now new again, where, 120 years ago, film was in its infancy. Everyone went to the theater. Once film blew up, then theater kind of became the niche, but now it feels like the pendulum is swinging the other way where film is becoming the niche and people are starting to go to live theater again. Is that just what I'm seeing, or are you guys feeling the same thing?
Yeah, well, I think the pandemic really hurt the film industry, with people staying home. Now streaming it was a boom for them, but even now, the last couple of movies I've been to, the audiences just aren't there.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure what it's going to take for theaters to get full again for film.
But there's also some truth to that with live theater, where the pandemic, maybe, a theater continue to exist like we have, but, the pandemic did affect audiences, and people became more attached to their technology rather than communicating with people in person. And I think people may be coming back to theater to try to regain that, but also I think it's not where it can be.
Right.
And as people try to separate themselves from their technology to interact more with people in person, things will grow even more for theater.
Right. But it's also helpful because, at one point theater, priced everybody out, and film was only $5 to go to the movies. So that was one thing to jump for. But now when you have the option and the prices are relatively close to each other, especially, movies being $20, $25 a pop, and you can get a ticket for Bye Bye Birdie at $32, which isn't much different, which would you rather see? Something that's going to be distracting where people are actually playing on their phones in theaters, or people watching actual performances in front of them and seeing real human beings rather than something that was filmed 6 to 8 months ago and had multiple takes, where you guys are just sitting there and it's all one take live. And if something flubs, you just keep it moving.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And I think you also mentioned that in a small space like ours, you feel more of a connection than you might in, Segerstrom, in that large theater. You feel a connection with the actors that I think is rare unless you're a small theater like us.
And that's a beautiful aspect of it, because at people have intermission, they can enjoy each other's conversations and get each other's live takes of what's going on, and then also post show can meet the cast.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Our casts usually come out after the show.
How have rehearsals been going? Because I know we're a couple of weeks out from Bye Bye Birdie on July 18th. Obviously rehearsals are going on. I know Katie, who's one of the cast members. She's great. I've seen her perform before. When the cast comes together and finally
Which
gel,
Katie? There's more than one.
Hamilton.
Oh, okay.
And the cast comes together and starts gelling. Like, how soon do you know that the cast is working before you go live with the performance, and how soon you're like, maybe we should switch these two performers for these characters because they seem like a better fit in the other go around?
That's a really interesting question. Rarely does it happen, especially in community theater, that you switch someone out. Although I have done it once or twice to switched actors to different roles, but I've figured that out right at the very beginning. But I find that for the most part, actors just automatically come together for a purpose. And then once that purpose is over, off they go. Though people do make friendships that continue to last.
That's great. Yeah. And how the rehearsals been coming along so far?
As far as I know, great.
Yeah. That's what we're looking
One
forward to.
always has to deal in community theater with people's conflicts.
Right.
And that can be difficult. But Karen Reimer, who's directing Birdie, has really been corralling everyone together. It's got a great production team. Karen, Sabrina Harper, who is the choreographer, and Diane King Van, whom I've known for 1,000 years, is the music director. So it's a really good team.
Wonderful. One thing, I should make mention, also handicap accessibility, because some places make it very difficult to find the ramp if a wheelchair is needed or someone's on crutches or something of that sort. there is handicap accessibility at the facility.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there is. And the ramp is right out front, so it's hard to miss.
Right. We want to make sure that we make it as convenient as possible for everyone to know that there's space for them.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Rob, you were going to say, I'm sorry?
No, I just was agreeing with you. And then because our seating isn't fixed, we can accommodate as many wheelchairs or as needed.
Has there been a show so far that you guys have wanted to do yet not have done, whether it was a licensing issue or someone did it as recently as, the weeks prior to the time frame that you wanted to put it on, or has No Square been able to pretty much do the shows that they've wanted to?
We occasionally will run into licensing issues if like if a national tour is being planned. A couple of years ago, we wanted to do Little Women, and we're on hold for maybe 6 months before they finally said, no, you're not going to be able to do it. Because at the time, there was a tour planned. I don't know that tour ever
It
came
didn't
to
happen.
fruition. No.
It took us 7 years, 8 years to get the rights to Chicago.
Wow.
We applied every year for those 7 years.
Wow.
And finally got the rights. But also for next season, for December, I wanted to do Elf, but it was on Broadway recently, and now there's going to be a national tour. So those rights were turned down.
Makes sense. And I know recently you did a student showcase from the little ones through high school ages. What's it like working with, they always say don't work with children and pets, but you guys are working with children. Take us through those camps and those types of classes where we get to see, original short works for the younger audience.
I think you're referring to Lagunatics.
Yes.
Yeah. And Joe directed that.
No, I didn't. Sydney did.
Oh, that's right.
Sydney Raquel, from whom I met at Wayward, directed it. But Lagunatics is the kids' version of Lagunatics. So they're parody songs about being a kid, which is fun. And right now we have a summer camp going where they are doing Frozen Kids, which we love to say. Frozen Kids.
Nothing like Frozen Kids in the summer.
No, got to have Frozen Kids in the summer. Keeps you cool. And they started last week on Monday. They're there 4 hours a day. They had mini workshops, not just everyone come and do a show, but they actually had an educational component of the program. And then on Thursday, they will do 2 performances of the 30-minute version of Frozen.
So the junior edition is essentially an abridged version performed by kids for kids.
Yes, there's a junior version, which is geared towards middle schoolers. And then the kids version, which we're doing, is the junior versions are usually about an hour. The kids versions are about 30 minutes. So, the whole story is condensed down, and it's for younger performers.
Get them in and out. Make sure that, they don't have that sugar crash when they load them up with M&Ms beforehand.
That's right. Oh, yeah, we don't allow that. Everything has to be healthy snacks.
Yeah. Take us through the process if someone wants to get involved, whether volunteering, donating, auditioning. How would they go about in getting in touch with No Square for any of those types of positions?
Yeah, we'll for auditions, we'll post it on the website. We usually also post in a couple of online platforms like Stage Agent, and I think we've used Actors Access on occasion as well. Or people can sign up for our e-blasts. That's another way to get notified on auditions. As far as volunteering, we would love all the volunteers we can get, and our volunteer coordinator, Mark Marger, can be reached at volunteer@nosquare.org. If people are interested, it can be as simple as ushering or handling our front door, checking people in on performance nights, bartending, stage crew, really, where people have some, experience, and definitely whether they have interest.
Just no drinking on the job while bartending.
Eh.
It is no square.
Joe's making sure to reiterate that one. This is my sophomore year of covering live theater. Last year was when I first got into it. What would you like to tell somebody that has never been to the theater or has very rarely experienced theater, why they should put the effort in coming into live theater as an audience member?
That's a good question. I think you kind of touched on one of the key things earlier. It's connection, and community and bringing people together. I think in live theater there's an intimacy and an urgency. It's very dynamic, and I versus a film, audiences at films, as you said before, there's no intermission unless you're watching The Brutalist. But audience members don't really interact in film, and they tend to much more in theater.
Yeah.
I have often told actors when I was doing a lot of education that the audience is another character in the play, because actors feed off of that energy. And when they feed off of that energy, the audience gets the energy back. Of course, they always get energy, but when an audience is really connected with each other and with the story, then there's an electricity in that moment, and that's where theater comes from storytelling. Many years ago, many thousands of years ago, and so seeing a story that I would hope that people would want to see a story that they're not familiar with and that they are open to.
And, we'll remind people, similar to stand-up comedy, you're not part of the show. Laugh, cry, interact in, gasps and applause. Don't talk to the performers while they're on stage.
That's absolutely right.
That's a good rule. Yeah.
Yeah. Unless, which we've done twice, you're doing the Rocky Horror Show.
That's very much interaction. So
that's interaction.
That's a different ball game.
Yeah, it is.
But with Dracula, don't jump on stage and, want to get bit by the vampire.
No, not at all.
And
those were specially made teeth for him. So they're practical, meaning they'll bite.
Gentlemen, where can we find No Square on social media if we want to connect and see what's coming up, whether we want to audition as performers, get the new season recommendations, things of that sort, and we want to come out and check out what's going on at No Square in Laguna Beach?
Yeah, on Instagram, you can follow us at No Square LB. You could also go to our website, nosquare.org, and sign up to be on our email list. We'll get all the news right to you.
Fantastic.
And
go ahead, Rob.
And soon our season will go on the website.
Perfect. Looking forward to the new season. We're going to be pushing that as well. Excited to see what's coming this year. Just a reminder, Bye Bye Birdie, July 18th through August 3rd at No Square Theater in Laguna Beach. Tickets are on sale now. Prices range from children's tickets to adult tickets. A place well worth checking out. Rob Harryman, Joe Lauderdale, I thank you so much for your time today, and I can't wait to see you guys in a couple of weeks.